Hello, this is Maria Mora. So for this week's module, I used three virtual environment tools. The first one that I want to talk about is the Google Tour Builder. I really like the Google Tour Builder because it incorporates various aspects of Google Earth, and it is a great opportunity for us to learn about our students and for students to be able to go to places that they would normally not be able to visit, or maybe even learn about the places that they have visited and make it into an interactive lesson. So, in the tour that I created, this first slide is an introduction to the tour. And what I wanted students to do is I wanted them to explore different landmarks or buildings and make connections with 3D shapes to do our unit on volume. What I think I want to do with this unit too is I want to incorporate it in an activity as part of an introduction activity in August to learn about my students, learn about the places that they visited, the places they want to visit, and learn about their culture. So I think it'll be a great intro to learning more about who they are and what motivates them. But in this activity, I wanted them to make relationships with volume. So when I started the tour, it starts in Dalton because that's where I'm starting the tour from. That's where I would fly from. And then we fly into Egypt to the pyramids of Giza. And here I just did a sample tour for students to go through. And so I said that in order to find the volume of the pyramid, they would use volume equals 1/3 times length times width times height. And so that's how they would find the volume of the pyramid since it's a rectangular pyramid. I incorporated a video that students can play and learn more about the pyramids. And with that, we can also add videos, pictures of that we took or pictures that we find on the internet. And if you notice here, they can move around and feel as if they're actually there and get a better look at the pyramid. The next place was the Colosseum in Rome, and for this one, I actually uploaded a picture of when I went to Rome myself, and I just made a connection with the shape of the Colosseum with the volume of a sphere, and so I just wanted students to kind of see those connections. And on the next one, I did the arc in Paris, and I wanted students to also have a look at the volume and what would compose the shape. And for this one, there's a place on Google Earth in this tour where there's like a person here, and when you drag that person, you can drag it to like a street. So see if you click here on back, it takes you there. This is a little person that I did, and I just dragged it. And students can do that, and then they can look at the place, move around, and feel as if they're actually there. So in this activity, I wanted students to travel to different places of the world that, like I said, they had either visited or wanted to visit, and make some connections with the historic landmarks and buildings to various three-dimensional shapes. So the next virtual environment tool that I worked with was the Metaverse, and this was probably one of my favorite apps that I found because it has we can do different things with it. We can make scavenger hunts. We can do like an escape, a breakout room, and then we can do a trivia game. And so I wanted to do the trivia game just because I know that students would probably feel motivated and engaged to work through the game, and they're learning, but they're also playing a game and they're able to play it on their phones, which I thought was pretty neat. So this activity was geared towards my 12th grade students because I know they all have a phone. With this activity, I have to say that it was probably one of the hardest ones to work with, but once I learned how to work through this activity, I feel like it's gonna be easier to just change it up and do more activities with my students. And I would like to try the doing the scavenger hunt or the breakout later. So in here, we can change our backgrounds to just a regular background, or we can do augmented reality. But here you can see the different sections that students would go through to answer the trivia game. And it's really neat because on here we're able to pretty much tell which of the answers are correct. And it's like doing coding. So I think this is also a great opportunity for students who are wanting to pursue a career and do this type of work. And they learn a lot of different good skills as well. And so if you can see, if you look at the end, or if you look in the game, there's a lot of different options. So right here, I made one that's like a multiple choice. They have 4 choices. And I also did one where students would type in their response. One that's like a yes or no, which could easily be turned into like a true or false question. And then I uploaded a picture. So you can upload a picture too, and made it into a multiple choice. And then here's another response. Notice how I was able to change the timing on each one. I gave students more time on the ones that I felt that would take longer, especially the ones where they had to type in their responses. And at the end, it's like coding, and it pretty much takes us to making different screens for if students get all their questions correct, or if they don't, it just tells them like thank you for playing is what I did. So this is a minion I did, and they can, when they click on the minion, they can see, and it feels like it's in 3 dimensions. And I mean, that was just something fun I wanted to do. But there's a lot of different shapes to search from that we can find, where we want, if we want students to work with a 3-dimensional shape, they could do that. And here on the bottom screens, I made it to where every time they answer a question, it tells them if they got it right or wrong. So it's like a review that I wanted to do with my students on matrices. And I thought it was a really good opportunity for students to use their phones and experience some of the augmented reality tools within this application. So the last application, the last virtual environment tool that I explored was the Magic Plan application. And this one I worked with my phone. So what I did is I took screenshots of what I did. And this was pretty much like the dimensions of a room that I took. And it's pretty neat because students can be creative. They can collaborate with others. And they walk around the room themselves with their phones. And that's how they get the dimensions of the different floor plans that they want to use. So it could be a floor plan from, their own house or the classroom, or anything that they want to just take dimensions of. And what I did was just like a sample living room. And notice how it asks in the application, it asks where the doors are at, and it puts a like the door symbol here where students would be able to see how much that measures and take that into consideration with the rest of the dimensions. So I think this is a really good opportunity too for students who are wanting to pursue a career in like architecture, or even like just more mathematics. And this was just a sample of like the wall. It also takes the dimensions of the wall. And I really like that because with that, there's a lot of different things students can do, and even show their parents, because they're able to see if, for example, if they want to patch a wall, or if they want to put paint on the wall, how much it would cost. These are some of the different things, or like appliances, or doors, windows, anything like that that they want to add to their floor plan. And it's just realistic because it could be furniture that's already in the house, or it could be furniture that they would want to add and see if it would fit within the dimensions of the house. So this is a couch that I added, and notice how I was able to rotate it with with the application. So students could do that too, and just find the best place of where that couch would fit, for example. and just have a better idea of how their house plan would look like, or could look like, or already looks like. So see, these are the projects, the do-it-yourself projects that I was talking about, where they could paint, they could add a kitchen appliances, flooring, doors, a bathroom, tiling. And the nice thing about this is every time you add in one of these do-it-yourself projects, it brings up, like I did painting, and you could choose the different types of paint or what you want to paint, or even if you want to apply wallpaper. And then once you click on one of those tasks, there's a lot more to painting, and then the tools, and it puts it into cost. So it gives students a perspective of how much they would pay for painting that wall or painting the whole room, how much it would cost them. So I think it gives some realistic figures to work with, and projects that they could work on in the future. This is another sample plan where it has a lot of different already appliances and different rooms. And notice how it has just like a couch, a table, and it doesn't have the dimensions, but in the application, there's a place on the bottom right hand corner where you can click on Get Details, and it puts the dimensions into place. This is how I started making my plan. So like I said, I was able to hold my phone, and it asks you to put the corner, and so that's the first step here. We put a corner of one of the walls, and then we walk around the room, and we have to pretty much put more corners until we have the plan for that specific room. So here was me going all the way around and putting all four corners. And it walks you through it. So this one was not really hard, but as a math person, I really like all the different things that we could do with that. It has a place for us to add the door, and it gives you options as to what kind of door you want, and also windows, adding in windows, because it takes them into consideration into the floor plan with the dimensions. The height, this is how I was able to set the height, and these are just pictures that I took of my house, measuring the living room in my house. So I thought this was really neat. I really like this application. I think our students would really enjoy it, and I think it could be a really good project to use with our students, to make realistic floor plans of their homes, or just any place that they want to build a floor plan, and look at the dimensions, find if certain appliances will fit and how much it would cost to do all of that. And so they get a better picture and more skills on what kinds of things they can do in the future in their careers, and then after they graduate. So I look forward to learning more about the activities that the virtual learning environments that you created and how you use those applications. I hope you enjoyed watching my video.